everybody, welcome back. StarBornFeline here. Let me raise the game mic a little bit. So hi. Last we left off, we managed to just barely get Sonetto from death by wine. So yeah. The way that happened is we managed to argue our way out of it up until they said, like, because we don't have a number, we don't count. But 37 came in clutch and said we are the number 0.
Come closer. That's right. Take a few more steps and immerse yourself in the shadow, including that hat. You don't want those good ears to hear this private conversation. That pad of paper from the miss? Yes, the one wielding the ruler is quite valuable. I can tell it is of a certain age and records quite a lot of anecdotes. One visitor to the island took out a baguette from his luggage. To share it with others, he made an attempt to parcel it off. Another visitor fell to the ground and happened to sit on a quart measure and break it. You can learn the punishments for them from the paper. The former was thrown into the sea, while the latter into the further sea. Only God knows how this wine-dark sea holds so many visitors. Oh, the debate! That's really a pain in the neck for that logical, pragmatic assistant of yours, isn't it? People always tend to mark what they can't figure out as arcanists' doings, as if things would make sense once they do so. But it won't change the fact that the debate is only a game involving sophistry, improvisation, and straw man fallacy. So what makes it superior to beans, if the form is what they are really after? Anyways, whoever fools the others first will win the game. No arcanum at all. And that argument of hers is the best attraction for the audience. A special number. A 0.
The boundary between positive and negative numbers, huh?
You are neither positive nor negative, which means you don't belong to either side. Now, imagine one side as an orderly line and the other as those wandering around. The wanderers can smell the abnormality in you, and of course, no one in that line sees you as one of them. In a restaurant, fruits are served without the seeds, but in a farm, the seeds are retained for the next harvest. Is there any value in the seeds? It depends on what you see when you look at them. The moment you realize that, you have come to the crossroad of fate. Now, back to the number we just talked about. Oh my! It's the prediction of your whole life. Can you believe that? You owe that spirited little genius a thank you. By the way, what do you see in her number?
A clever trick.
Yes, of course. 37 is larger than 0, but it's not so stable as 0. These prime numbers, they are just hard to divide because they have very few things in common with others. That's why she's always so energetic, highly and solely focused on what she takes an interest in. She has nothing like the characteristics of the ones you know in the Gray and White House. Those people are proud of themselves for having kind-hearted factors around them. As their teaching goes, it's always dangerous to be unique. But some look up at her again and again, exactly because they can sense the danger in her. You are also a good example. You've been looking up, haven't you?
Okay, a couple things to take from that. The concept of 0 being Burton's fate is my biggest notation. So I mentioned this at the end of the last video, but 0 is a powerful number. By itself, it has no value, but in mathematics, it can just affect a lot of things. percentiles, the division of something, etc. The value of something by adding or removing zeros. Those are just a few examples off the top of my head, but when it comes to zero in math and in a society like this, it would be like the holy grail as far as these people are concerned. The splendid debate between numbers, think back. Okay.
Who ate beans?
So we're just going to go full on aggro.
Given that it could be found. Uh-huh. Intersect and divide. How troublesome. Given that it could be found.
I learned my lesson from the Doppelings.
And divide.
For this one, and as you also see, this is gonna be a little bit of a, but not a, it's a little bit of a sneak peek because you see her dress here.
Given that it could be found. Time to check
This
my
is her
calculation.
second form, her second extension.
There's a bubble. Huh.
Nice.
The final demonstration.
Since I got a little bit of a charge off,
The final
Ultimate.
demonstration. It could be found.
do a single.
Welcome to the world of numbers.
Yeah.
Intersect and divide. How troublesome.
Okay.
Perfect dog to live in there. Uh-huh.
There we go. Like I said, so for 37, again, I already mentioned this a bunch of times, but currently best party I can think of, Liliana, acting as a carry-on plus pseudo support, I guess. Because I think currently Liliana's the only other character that can take a second action outside of, well, actually no, I take that back. Liliana and then Mr.ApPle. So you can do 37 as your main damage, Mr.ApPle as your support character to get defense, and then a healer. I might recommend either. Also, the only really good one for this party at the moment would probably be Tooth Fairy. Sotheby or maybe Balloon Party might be decent, given that you're going if you use Mr.ApPle. But Mr.ApPle's biggest limitation is her extra action doesn't occur until you use her ultimate. In which case, whenever she's attacked, she'll retaliate, and that could potentially just help build things up quickly. Pair that with Balloon Party, you have a fairly powerful, what's it called, retaliatory strategy, and it would just quickly build up 37's gauge. Though I'm not sure 100% if you can fill 37's gauge with that retaliatory attack from his battle. So, something to experiment with if you have them, if you have those two. But yeah, other than that, Liliana is the only really good one. Middle of the axis. Neither biased nor neutral, neither positive nor negative, neither excessive nor deficient.
"37. You just said Vertin's number is 0. Do you know what it means?"
Very clearly.
Would you be able to submit proof to ApPle?
No problem.
Half of you in this hall have put in the pebbles. If 37's argument is found to be true, every argument Vertin has spoken in Sonetto's defense will be deemed valid. Sonetto will be exempt from the punishment. I will announce the result once 37's proof has been validated by ApPle. Thank you for your time.
Sonetto! Timekeeper, I'm so sorry. I tried my best, but still I couldn't understand the debate. I failed again.
What happened to her? Come here, little girl. We need to move her outside. Lie her down on the ground and wipe her palm and feet with dew and peppermint oil. That would be okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The distinguished number 0. I'm kidding. I'm 210. Well, instead of the number, I prefer people call me the rhetorician.
I've heard your preachment. Pretty demagogic.
That's how logic works. With logic, I can prove that you'd cease to exist in the next moment, or that there are no other people in this world except me. Achilles can never outrun a tortoise, and a flying arrow is forever motionless. This debate is nothing but meaningless wordplay. That pacifist let you off this time. 6. A perfect number indeed. For he knows the benefit of reconciliation. Who wants to have blood on their hands and be devoured by the cycle of hatred? Yet it's a torture for any intelligent mind to hear such an immature debate. Can you feel the suffering of our leader now?
I'm sorry.
No apology needed, Miss Outsider. I also feel sorry for your pain. Given that 37 has revealed your number.
What do you mean?
37. Our evil little genius. The most cunning star of Hermes. She's been having fun revealing others' numbers for a long time. Our numbers are our essence. And it's also the most important proof we get once in our lifetime. But she enjoys taking that opportunity away from you. Just because her talent allows her to do so. She did that to her friend, too. She found out Sophia's number. But without casting an eye on that paper with her number on it, Sophia threw it into the sea. Sophia is Sophos. But you, I pity you.
It doesn't seem like trouble to me.
Alas, poor little Vertin. You still don't understand. The number of our souls suggests our fate. It might be changed through algorithms temporarily, swirling, shifting, or transforming alongside other changes occurring on the coordinate axis. But in the end, we can only be ourselves. 1 is thought. 2 is opinion. 3 is wisdom. 4 is strength. 5, enthusiasm. 6, harmony. 7, order. 8, philanthropy. 9 is restraint, while 10 is completion. 0, however, is in the middle of the axis, the origin of the frame of reference. It's neither positive nor negative, neither prime nor composite. Things are ever changing, but you stay the same. Your loneliness also lasts forever. This is your fate. Being exposed in full view of the crowd, yet you know nothing about it. 37 was acting on impulse, yet she opened Pandora's box. She leisurely reveals your fate. That carefree behavior makes no difference to picking up a shell on a beach. How could I not pity you?
Ms. Vertin. 37's proof has passed the review. Your friend will now be exempt from the punishment for violating the rules. However, she has to take some catch-up lessons on the scripture. Please, meet me at the hall tomorrow at noon. I would have words with you.
So, hold on. Testing. Oh, come on. Give me a second. Testing. Testing. I don't know why, but my thing stopped picking up. I guess the music is just too soft for it to pick it up for some reason. Weird. But anyway, so I wonder, what is the implication behind this? That the fact that he said 37 opened Pandora's box for Burton, and that being called number 0 is something to be pitied. What does that mean exactly, I wonder? I don't think 37 was doing it maliciously, but she did it in a way that I don't think she fully thought out of the consequences for her, for Burton, and for other people. But let's see where it goes on. Chain of Peace. He declares that the old standoff must end.
Before this negotiation begins, I wish to tell an allegory to the two of you. A group of people were imprisoned in a cave. Behind them, there was a fire. Before them was a tall, solid wall. Their legs and necks were chained and fixed, so they were constrained to look nowhere but to gaze at the wall in front of them. When they dropped their eyes, they saw their own body. When they looked up, the flickering light of the fire fell over them, and they only saw the shadows of what was passing behind them. No one had lived one day outside the cave. The shadows cast on the wall all there was to be perceived as reality. They had no knowledge of the real world. One day, one of them escaped from the cave, walked into the light, and saw the true world with his own eyes for the first time. Everything he saw or felt in the cave was nothing more than a mere shadow of the object's true form. Our world is a poor one, Miss Vertin. The phenomenal world is the cave in this allegory, where we are surrounded by shadows or some humble fractions of the truth. It is ugly, frivolous, filthy, perishable, subject to decay, and filled with hollow desires and meaningless struggles. Only the wise can walk out of that cave and see the world as it truly is. In that eternal, transcendent world, everything is in its most perfect form. I pray that you, Miss Vertin, the representative of St. Pavlov Foundation, and you, Miss Arcana, her counterpart of Manus Vindicte, would pay heed to my words. Everything you've been fighting each other for means no more than some fragments of phenomena to us. There's only one thing worth doing. That is, to seek higher wisdom, develop one's virtue, and achieve greatness in life. We have never set foot on the soil dampened by the storm, nor have we ever been involved in the disputes brought by the torrents of time. I beg you, do not take your conflict in the phenomenal world into the realm of truth.
For certain. It was never my intention to sully the sanctuary of truth.
Then, to prevent a situation like this from happening again, I would like to ask you two to carve your names on these 2 stone bangles and drip a drop of your blood on each of them. Once the bracelet is put on, no one will be able to remove it. From now on, as long as you're on this island, none of your people will draw blood from one another. Or the bangle shall draw all the blood from you. The peace agreement is so decided.
I appreciate that. I'll sign it. The peace agreement.
Lady Vertin, we meet again. I wish the best to thy friend.
She's doing well, thanks to you.
You're most welcome. Thou shalt quench, for times hath changed. I would not wish to shed even a drop of Arcanist's blood in vain.
But Schneider should be the victim of a merciless bullet?
Vertin, my pitiful child. Did you forget? That merciless bullet cameth from a gun never belonging to me.
What's Manus Vindicte's purpose to be here?
Hearken the archaic wisdom. Just as thou doest. I am not surprised. I adore thy visage, Lady Vertin, emotionless in the storm. Alas, no man shall bravest the storm and live, including thee.
A wooden box in the Elitiao's base has my name on it. Was that your doing?
Sadly, it wasn't. I hope thee findeth the answer satisfactory.
It's burning.
Is that Miss Arcana? Miss Arcana, please, don't go! Save us! And save us!
Come back! Come back! You ignorant foreigners! I just started introducing vectors and matrices, and that's the most interesting part! 13. Great. You always show up at the right time and right place. Stop the masked people! Whatever it takes!
Oh my gosh. 37's a hoot and a holler. Well, doesn't this simply break what they just told us? Not to attack each other?
I can't wait anymore!
Oh well. We'll make it work. Let's...
They're just little games. Isn't it?
Oops, shoot, I did not mean to do that.
Are you irrational numbers? How troublesome.
Alright.
It could be found. Start me up.
We'll just try to focus one down as long as we can.
Rock, rock, rock! Change the world!
Well,
Irrational. How troublesome.
Relax.
Isn't that?
No worries. Thank you for your cooperation.
Oh, there's a bubble.
Breathe.
right now I'm just trying to...
It could be found. Isn't that?
Relax.
Are you irrational numbers? Oh, there's a bubble. Huh.
Breathe.
How troublesome. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Okay, let's see.
The final demonstration.
Let me take this for a moment.
They're just little games. Welcome to the world of numbers.
Honestly, I wish I had her... not her...
Rock,
Her,
rock, rock.
the photo... What are they called? Not like code, not photo cues. I don't know what was that even.
No worries.
Isn't that? Are you ready to be blinded?
Thank
What are
you
they
for your
called?
cooperation.
Are you irrational numbers? Are you ready to shake?
So basically, her is made equipment from the gacha.
Woohoo!
Game
Release!
store. What it does is it boosts her genesis damage, which is going to be her biggest appeal. And I had not realized how low 37 was on HP. That's my bad.
Relax.
First,
It could be found.
hold on. Debuff,
No worries.
heal,
Relax.
and then burst.
Isn't that?
Or
Thank you for
AoE,
your
I guess.
cooperation. I smell the scent of mint oil.
Are you irrational numbers?
maybe if we've gotten to a good point of this now.
Let me take this for a
It
moment.
could be found. Time to check my calculation.
We might have just barely made it, honestly.
The final demonstration. Isn't that? They're just little games. Welcome to the world of numbers.
Yeah. The light cone, or whatever you want to call it. I just call it equipment because that's basically what it is. Her equipment
Intersect and divide.
boosts her Boost her justice damage, which is going to be really help her out.
Hooray!
Because right now it's just a little bit hard to get enough materials. I'm going to stores and getting more rings to roll in the store. Gotcha. It helps out. But still, let's see.
Oh, look at you, climbing out of the cave in the allegory, all dusty and dirty like a little savage. They must have tried to fill your little brain with long preachment. But you should feel lucky, because at least they didn't give you a quiz right after that.
They weren't wrong. What they said was true.
Oh, how modest you are. Looks like you didn't spend all your student days catching tree frogs. Try to reach the corners of your mind, if you would. And there you will find another bunch of people standing in front of a stone table. Yes, those people in gowns. White gowns with gray diamond patterns. One of them was standing on the stairs, gathering all the little vacant eyes to his side. What was he called? Give me a second. Teacher, instructor, tutor, the educator. Just titles like that. No names at all. No one gets to write down their names on that banner, after all. But they have nothing to complain about. You know what they say? What is reasonable is real. That which is real is reasonable. They showed you a broad avenue in their teachings where you could enjoy a sense of security with all the solid ground, convenient automobiles, and warm sunshine. And at the end of the avenue even lies an inspiring mission, to which you are expected to devote your whole life. There is a distinction between good and bad here, and it's as clear as our innate sense of right and wrong, like a floor of black and white tiles. Any stains on it will be noticed immediately. But in fact, there exists another path in the woods. It's much less traveled, leading to the unknown darkness which cannot be seen with eyes or... So, which will you take?
I'm interested in the path.
Oh, that's not an easy choice to make. This grammar must give you a round of applause. I would have even pinned a boutonniere to your suit if I had one. But I have to remind you, those things in there are not easy to deal with. They can drive you insane, and you have to be very careful. You've seen the living proof. Many were freaked out after they came back, and people had to tie and lock them up. Others even dug their own graves. Oh, my. That was a bit over the top. I hope I didn't scare you, darling. Here's some good news to cheer you up. Actually, there's still one more way you can take. It would be a good choice if you want to enjoy the scenery without getting lost in the darkness. I'm sure you know that myth. You shall take the soul of your love out of the underworld, yet you shall not look back. That's right. You shall pass by the sleeping sirens, yet you shall not make a sound. The ones with the belief set off. They entered the dark woods barefooted, yet moved so smoothly, as if they were walking on the avenue. They kept their mouths shut and eyes forward. They never turned back, never picked up what was not theirs, never set foot on the forbidden lands, and never looked straight at the sacred greatness. They showed frugality, patience, and wisdom in the face of hunger and danger. So the beasts continued to lurk in the shadow, and the ones with the belief passed through the woods safely, until the path disappeared along with the direction sign. Then the first one to look back gave an exclamation before being exiled.
Is it really reasonable to take it?
Think about what I just said. That which is real is reasonable. Never look back in the woods, darling. If you don't want to be turned into a pillar of salt which can do nothing but wail, then never, ever look back. Yes, we'd better stay awake, stay calm, stay cautious all the time. But then there comes the problem. How can you ignore your love for those thriving plants and blooming flowers? How are you supposed to deal with the unstoppable feeling that overflows like a melody when it is stirred up by the beauty of the scenery? Of course, you will cry the loudest cry, dance the wildest dance, drink the strongest drink, and vomit all the filth inside you. After all, there is no need to enter the woods if the soul-stirring scenery is not what you are after. Right?
Oh, sorry.
No. So you'd better let it slip your mind, darling.
I clicked too fast. I'm sorry. It doesn't sound like a good way. That's what it's gonna say.
Just let it go and hurry forward. Remember to keep your eyes shut and hold your breath. When you do so, the scenery will no longer mean anything to you, nor will the fragrance of the flowers. You will get out of the woods and reach where the truth lies. Is that what you want? Don't worry. We have plenty of time. You may come back at any time and pick another way.
Got another achievement for that. Alright, so a couple things there. One, she was noting a couple different stories, such as the Odyssey and then Orpheus' story of going to the underworld to save Eurydice, and a couple others I didn't quite recognize, but I know they sound familiar. But I understand what she's saying. Like, life is made. There are a couple things to note there. Just in general, I think it's good advice. One, life is full of choices. You can choose the safe and narrow path, but if you you can choose the safe and familiar avenue, or take a risk and choose the more dangerous path. She's right that the path may not be the safest thing in the world, but sometimes you'll only find things possible when you do that second option. The other thing to note is don't regret anything you do in your life. You can turn back the clock. You may receive a second chance, you may not. But no matter what, stick by your decisions. If you make a mistake, learn from it. If you gain something valuable out of it, cherish it. But other than that, if I can analyze that a little bit just to heck it back, but other than that, thank you so much for watching. This has been the StarBornFeline saying, like, comment, subscribe, all that down below. For this video, comment, what are some of your favorite little just tidbits of information or knowledge you've received over the years? Like, what's something that stuck to you? For me, I try to live by the golden rule of do unto others if you want others to do unto you. Besides that, remember, be kind. Let's create something new tomorrow, and I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, it's been the StarBornFeline saying goodbye.